Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. We'll get right to it. We'll try to make the formal portion as quick and as efficient as possible because we know the breakout sessions are really what you're looking for. So if our friends at Communicore could go ahead and cue the music, and I'd like to introduce our driver lineup at StewartHaas Racing. Kevin Harvick, driver of the number 4 Chevrolet. Danica Patrick, driver of the number 10 Chevrolet. Kuet Busch, driver of the number 41 Chevrolet. And Tony Stewart, driver of the number 14 Chevrolet and co-owner of StewartHaas Racing. We'll do it. We'll allow everyone to get B-roll and still photos before we continue introductions. And now Gene Haas, the co-owner of StewartHaas Racing and founder of Haas Automation, the largest CNC machine tool builder in North America. And now our crew chiefs. Rodney Childers, crew chief for Harvick in the number 4 team. Billy Scott, crew chief for Patrick in the number 10 team. Tony Gibson, crew chief for Kuet Busch in the number 41 team. And Mike Bugaravich, crew chief for Stewart and the number 14 team. Excellent. Everyone good? Fantastic. Drivers, Gene, if you could take your seats, our crew chiefs, they'll be right over here, and everyone will be available in the breakout session right afterward. And we want to welcome all those watching at home on NASCAR.com, as well as any media members who couldn't find a place to park. We're glad you can still join us here today. Want to go ahead and reintroduce Gene Haas. You're your co-owner here at StewartHaas Racing is taking part in his last season as a full-time NASCAR Sprint Cup Series driver, and yet you're beginning your first year as a Formula One team owner. Can you reflect a little bit on Tony's career, what he's brought to this team, and also talk about how you're going to balance being a team owner in Formula One this year?
Oh, wow! All in one sentence.
No pressure.
Let me think. It's been an adventure. I think being in NASCAR for I don't know, over 12 years, that was an experience. We paid our time, and when Tony came along in 2009, that started a new adventure for me, anyways. And I was always a little bit wondering why Tony wanted to do that. Being a successful driver. But you never know in racing, things change. I'm glad that Tony came on board because he immediately brought a lot of credibility to the operation, and he was able to bring the parts that I could never find myself. And I think I had parts that he wouldn't have been able to develop as quickly either. So I think together was really a great marriage of two people that went on to win 2 championships, and like anything else, Tony, this is his last year, so time goes by so fast in life, and reflecting back on it, I don't think I could have done better. I know so many other owners have spent their whole lives trying to break into this sport and even achieve modest success. So the success that Tony and myself have accomplished is truly unbelievable, and I think the history speaks for itself as to what we've been able to do. And going forward, being a NASCAR team, certainly one of the big 4 teams is very, very gratifying to myself, and I'm sure Tony feels the same way. And I'm sorry to see time goes on, and here Tony's taken his his last hurrahs, but I'm sure he'll be, haunting us all in the background some way. But here we are now, venturing off into Formula One. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting. Like anything else, you need challenges, you need things to look forward to, and I want to see Formula One as being, reliving the early NASCAR days. I know it's not going to be easy, but that's what makes it worthwhile. So it's been a lot of fun. I'm still going to be in NASCAR. Still probably be more involved in NASCAR and Formula One than I have been in the past. So it's just a change, but it's a change for the good.
Great. And Tony, obviously a new NASCAR season beckons, but it is your last one. Does it feel any different?
Yeah, it feels good because I know this is my last Charlotte Media Day. So next year I get to sit here with Gene, and in an hour we'll get out of here together while these guys still have to work. So no, this is it's exciting. I mean, it's I don't think when I started in '99 with Joe Gibbs, I don't think I ever had a clue when the end would be, but here it is, the last year, and we're excited about it. I'm more excited about this year than I have been in a long time, and ready to go. And the big focus this year is having fun. So we're going to enjoy this last year. We're going to give 100% every week, and I want to be up there racing with these three every week up toward the front. So that's what our goal is. We're going to go out and try to win races and try to get in the chase and contend for a championship, and try to have fun in the process. So we're going to have a good time.
And Kevin, Danica, Kurt, if you could, talk a little bit about your expectations for this year, but also there is a new rules package. Kurt, you just recently tested it at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. If you can, just expound upon that a little bit.
Yeah, I think last year we saw the low downforce package in two races that we saw so many different things the first time. The second time at Darlington, we were able to add the softer tire and to create a direction for everybody to be involved in a better level. So NASCAR was in agreement with it. Goodyear embraced it, the drivers, but the teams had to go through a lot of expenditure to do that research. And now we hope we're going to bear the fruit of that labor and see a better result on track. That's ultimately what we all want. We want to see side-by-side racing, passes for the lead, and different tire developments that allow a car to go fast at the beginning and pay a penalty and wear his tires out and drop off. And so we're hoping that we see a lot of that movement out on the track this year. But for us on the Haas Automation Chevy and bring Monster Energy aboard, 2015 was a very successful campaign, and we have every one of our crew members back on the 41 car, except for one guy. He wanted to retire. He had been on the road for 25 years. And so to have one guy change position, this 41 car is destined to do great things in 2016. So we hope to improve in all areas, and it's going to be a lot of fun working with Tony Gibson again, a true leader and a great guy in the garage area.
Danica?
I'm definitely looking forward to the 16 season. Billy Scott's my new crew chief for this year. I've gotten along with him great from the get-go. We've already spent quite a bit of time together. We went curling the other night. It was fantastic. And so I do look forward to it. We've got a couple other new players on the team. I think every change that's been made has been very good so far, and everybody gets along great. So the camaraderie is there from the get-go. So I definitely look forward to the season. I think we're going to have a lot of fun, but I also think that we're going to have a really good year at the same time. And I hope that we do. Nature's Bakery is on board for a new primary sponsor, and I'd love to deliver a great year for them, and most of all, have fun. I mean, when you do well on track, you have a lot more fun. So as far as the rules package goes, Kurt's probably had, I guess, Kurt and Kevin maybe have driven it the most. But other than the stuff that we did at the racetrack, my exposure is going to be once the season starts. So, but I don't doubt that. As far as the team goes, StewartHaas will be prepared, and great teammates help develop that, and good crew chiefs and good engineers. So that makes me excited for the season.
Great. And Kevin?
Yeah, I think for the 4 team is try to repeat what we've done the last couple of years. We're just fortunate to have been in a position that we've been in as far as being competitive and racing for championships. And we had one change on our team with the race engineer. Mike obviously went to be Tony's crew chief. But I think as you look at, as soon as the year ended, we were, obviously disappointed that we didn't win, and felt like, we needed to come up with a new plan for Homestead. Went down and tested and felt like we had a good test. And I think as you look at the season, and the most exciting thing for me was to see how the crew chiefs and engineers that were at that test, the camaraderie between what we already had with Rodney and we call him Old Man. I guess I should refer to you as Mr. Gibson, but I think as you look at the camaraderie that those teams already had, and having Mike go to the 14 and Rodney and Billy's relationship coming in, it's just kind of a culture change. I think when you look at the communication in the crew chief category, and I think that's going to be exciting to see how that evolves.
All right, we'll go ahead and open it up to questions. We know the folks here at Charlotte Motor Speedway do have mics, so just raise your hand, state your name and affiliation, and we'll get a mic to you. Got Stan right here in the middle.
Stan Creekmore, straight ahead, Tony, with RPMtonight.com. Tony, from everything I'm hearing, stepping aside from Sprint Cup isn't going to make you less busy actually behind the wheel of some form of race car. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, I'm still going to race. I just don't know how much yet. I mean, obviously, with 4 Cup teams, we're going to be busy, and our track at Eldora Speedway, we're going to be busy. Donnie Schatz with the Outlaw team, we're going to be busy, and with the All-Star Circuit of Champions, we're going to be busy. So I still have plenty of projects to keep me occupied, but the nice thing is I'll have a little more flexibility to go run some stuff when I want to go, and I want to go tag along with Gene to Monaco and watch some F1 races next year. So, just having that flexibility. I mean, this will be 18 years that I've not had flexibility to go do anything other than what NASCAR told us we needed to do. So, it's going to be nice to have some flexibility in the schedule to kind of do some other things when I want to do it. But I still plan on being at the Cup track as much as possible. So, you'll still pretty much see me almost every weekend there. Just some of the days I might not be there the whole day.
Wolfgang.
Wolfgang Monzer from Germany Ranchport Press Agency. A question to Gene Haas. I suppose your 2 signed guys for Formula One already stepped in your Sprint Cup headquarters. What was their first reaction when they saw a Sprint Cup car? And if the possibility are turned up, are they interesting also to try a stock car?
I was there with Roman, and he fits right into the 41 car. So I think he would be very interested in doing that. And we actually made it, if we can accommodate him, that we would put him in a Cup car to try it out. I think any race car driver just loves to see what another sport is like and see how well he would do. I think they're very impressed. It's a different kind of racing. Formula One obviously is in a kind of just a different world as far as what the cars are, the rules, packages, and everything. But ultimately, it comes down to it. You got racers racing against each other, and I think. I'm trying to think about this one, but I think more people that have come from Cup have done better than Formula One, than vice versa. So when the Formula One guys come over and drive these cars, they realize that these are not easy cars to drive. That they're big, heavy bricks, and it takes actually a lot more talent to noodle one of these things around the track than it does, say, a Formula One car, which is much more precise and accurate and lots more horsepower. So different set of skills, and I think that's why they look forward to it. So if we have an opportunity to put one in for maybe one of the road races, we'd be happy to accommodate if possible.
I think if we're going to do that, I think it's only fair that we get to drive the F1 car.
Trade. Definitely a trade system here.
I mean, we are under one umbrella after all. So.
Well, we have free practice, and you're welcome to come out. We'll see how you do.
That was much easier than I thought that was going to be.
Negotiation.
It's a good place to ask.
We're on a roll. Let's try something else.
Well,
Is the test in America?
can't handle 850 horsepower?
You forget that I drive cars that have over 900 horsepower for fun.
That's why I'm saying I don't think it'd be any problem at all for either one of you to jump into a car.
We just want to go have fun, and if they get to play in our cars, we just want the opportunity to play in theirs.
Sure. I don't see anything wrong with that. Matter of fact, I'm sure Bernie would love it.
Let them drive their cars. Keep them out of mine. I'm good.
These will make some great headlines overseas. All right, Tom?
I don't know quite how to follow that up. Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com. Tony, of all the things available to you to drive once you retire, is there a particular car or type of car you're looking forward to most getting on the track in?
I think pretty much the cars I'm going to run are probably cars that I've already driven in the past and that I'm familiar with. So I don't think there'll be anything really new that's added. I mean, there might be some opportunities to run some off-road trucks a little bit here and there, but other than that, it's pretty much going to be cars that I'm familiar with and that I've already got investments in already.
Zach Atan's already front stretch. Speaking of racing other cars, three of you, Danica, Kurt, and Tony, you've raced the Indy 500. What would you say is the biggest difficulty of racing that type of car? And two of you ran the double. What would you say was the most difficult part of doing that type of event?
The IndyCar event or Indy 500? What's the most difficult part? Having a good car is important. You can't muscle a car around Indy. So I think that's one of the things that's very important on that day. But then just keeping a level head and keeping your head in it. It's a long day and a lot of things can happen, but of all the races, being the longest with the most amount of pit stops, there's the most amount of opportunity for shuffling and moving and turning something bad into something good. So just that discipline of sticking with it is challenging at that event, but rewarding.
One of the most difficult things for me, just because I hadn't run any open wheel races, was the difference in aerodynamics, the closing rate, and the way that the car would change in attitude when you get closer to another car. And the easiest way to describe that is the dirty air felt like it was 10 times worse in an Indy car than what it is in a stock car. And then the most difficult part about 1,100 miles in the same day is the mental focus and preparing for it and to be ready physically for that day. And so it's months of training leading up into it. And so I tried to embrace that and have fun with it. But that is definitely one of the most difficult parts, is to train for 1,100 miles in one day.
Yeah, I think when I was racing IndyCar still, it was quite a bit different than the package that these two are more familiar with. I mean, it's been 15 years since I've been in an IndyCar, but, the challenge that we ran into at Indy was during the practice days, you had a lot of grip in the track, and then on race day, it would get a lot slipperier than what you practiced. So that was always the challenge. The 5 years that I ran the 500 was just you never got the conditions on race. You never got them in practice like you had on race day. So it was a lot of guesswork on what you needed and how much downforce to put on the car. And now the whole game's changed with IndyCar racing as far as they're grouped together a lot tighter and. They've got a lot more adjustability in the car, so it's they were able to make a lot more adjustments than I think we were. But the 2 years that I ran the double, I mean, we finished both races. We finished 1,190 miles the first year and all 1,100 miles the second year. And then Kurt's right. I mean, the first year I didn't know what to do. I didn't drink enough water. I actually drank plenty of water leading into the race. I just didn't eat enough solid food. In the second year, we got a nutritionist to go with us, and I'm not sure that Kurt did a great job of putting a lot of effort into the working out before to get ready for it. I didn't do that, but I really got with somebody that might hand me a thing of apple juice during a debrief at Indy, and I didn't know what all I was eating and drinking, but he did, and that was really the big key between the first year and the second year. It made a 100% difference in the way I felt after both races.
All right, we'll take one more. Hill, take us home, and then we'll begin our breakout sessions.
Yeah, Hill Overton, WIXC Radio. Kurt, you took the Haas Automation number 41 car to a really strong season showing last year, but what do you lack? What would be the niche? What do you need to add this year to get you over the top and compete even stronger for the championship?
Well, it's having the focus again around Tony Gibson and the guys that we have on that team to bump it up another step. We know we did good things, and we ran 5th to 10th a lot. We need more top 5s, and that's done with more detail and attention to what is important for specific tracks. And that's where Kevin Harvick and Rodney Childers were better than us at certain details. And then there was Tony doing good things and Danica doing good things. And you have to string it together for the 26 races and then be at your best in those final 10. And then you're racing the chase point system. You're not necessarily needing the fastest car some days to get through and advance through the chase. So you got to race the chase, and that's important as well. So it's just taking everything to that next level, and we're ready for that. It's been a nice improvement to go from 12th in points in 2014 to 8th and be only a couple of positions shy of making it to the championship round last year. And so we've got our goals, and now it's time to apply it.
Great. Thank you very much.